Hey everybody, my name is Bo Sanders. I wanted to talk to you about the importance of the words that we sing when we're together, say in a worship service. So in the early churches, in those early centuries, a saying had developed that was the rule of prayer is the rule of faith. Lex orandi, lex credenzi est, I think is the Latin there. That how people prayed is what we really believed. It led to right doctrine. And I actually have come to see this as a total inversion of what we have today, which is that a lot of people think if you believe the right things, if you have right doctrine, orthodoxy, that it will lead to right practice or praxis, but that it will also lead to, like the words, right singing or right prayer, but that right belief determines other things. And I just haven't found that to be true. In my years of ministry, I've sort of come to embrace that mantra from the early centuries that you can tell what we really believe by how people pray. And the longer I've sort of watched this and monitored it, I've actually come to see that it's actually what we sing is how you can tell what we really believe. Now, so for some of you who are watching this, that's terrifying because, the worship songs have developed, we jokingly call them 7-11, the same 7 lines sung 11 times, or the Jesus is my boyfriend, me and Jesus sort of spirituality. And so that terrifies you. But I actually think that it's a helpful diagnostic to say, yeah, that's what people really think. That is their view of God. Some would call it like a cosmic butler or divine therapy or whatever you want to call it, that is what people are believing. And so no matter what it says in our doctrinal statements, if you listen to the words of the songs we sing on Sundays for most of us, that's how you can tell what we really believe. And so I wanted to just throw out the idea to you that the rule of worship is the rule of faith. That the words we sing when we're together, that's what we really believe. I don't know if that resonates with you at all, but it's something I've been working on for the last decade, and I have really come to embrace it. That it's not just what people pray that tells you what we really believe. It's what we sing. That's what's determining faith. And it's not that if you preach the right thing, that will impact what we really believe, and which will then impact how we pray, which will then impact the words that we write for our songs. No, it's the inverse. And so I think keeping track of the sequence or the direction is really important, not just that we have all the right elements, but that we have them in the right sequence. Which one is influencing the other? This is why I take worship music so seriously. And so, I have a different video that I can link to in the show notes. But this is why I tweak songs. Because if there's a song, for instance, about, let's say, blood, but God's love is larger, it's bigger than just the blood that was shed on the cross. God's love is so much bigger. So there are times where I'll say, like, my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' love and righteousness. For me, that resonates more. It's more theologically accurate, and so I don't mind tweaking that song at all. But I also do it with king imagery because we don't live in an age of monarchs anymore, and I'm never really sure that that we should have adopted so much king imagery in our view of kingdom, and that we missed Jesus' ironic use of monarchy there, that he was the kind of king who laid down his life. He was the kind of king born in a manger, and we missed the irony of that, and we bought into Caesar imagery. But I also changed the masculine language of God. It's as equally accurate and inaccurate to call God mother as father. They're both just metaphors. And so for people to latch on to father imagery, and I know I go around and around with people, but it doesn't bother me at all to introduce either gender neutral or even feminine imagery of God, which you see both in the Hebrew and the Greek in our Christian Bible. So let me know what you think of this, that the rule of worship is the rule of faith. You can tell what we really believe by what we sing. I'd love to know if this resonates with you, or if you can give me any better examples. Maybe you live in a different culture, or maybe in a different denominational setting, and this is in your setting, it looks a little different. I would love to hear some feedback from you.